recorded. And then just for fun, because we have a big game coming up this weekend, and I'm sorry, Vikings fans, I think Jason, you're Vikings fans. In chat, sometime during the next hour, chat who your all-time favorite Green Bay Packer is. And I suppose if you're not a Packer fan, we'll take any football player. If you're not a football fan in general, just make somebody up. But go Pack Go, big game on Saturday. So looking forward to that. Ashley is going to do a quick rundown of our guests and visitors, and I think we have several tonight, which is really great. Thank you all for coming. And Ashley, take it away.
All right, so I am going to say your name, and then if you could just maybe say where you're from, and then we can move on because I know we have a lot to get through. So I'm going to do my best not to miss anyone. Kate Bickett, I know she was just approved as a new member, but maybe if you just want to do a quick introduction.
Yeah. So I'm the community relations manager at Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm from Minnesota, so I'm not a Packers fan. Let's see, what else? I've been at Big Brothers Big Sisters for a little over a year, and Jason is our previous ED, so it's nice to see him again.
Great.
Welcome, Kate. We're glad to have you as a member.
Yay, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right, next I have Kevin Corkin.
Hi, I'm Kevin Corkin. It's nice to see a fellow nonprofit executive on here, but I work for the Boy Scouts full-time in development and community relations. So I'm looking to, still gotta get my application submitted, but looking to join Rotary here. And I've been in 2 different Rotary clubs in my career as I've moved around for the last 7 years now.
Great, thanks for joining. Bob Spencer.
Bob Spencer here from La Crescent Club across the river. Good to see some fellow Minnesotans here.
Thank you. Eileen McGuine. Sorry, I butchered that.
Oh, no, that was good, actually. I'm Eileen McGuine. I am brand new to lacrosse. I've come from Madison and UW Carbone Cancer Center, and I recently just started a new position as a media coordinator for the Mayo Clinic Health System in town.
Great. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Nathan Crowder.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nathan Crowder. So I, like Eileen, am new to lacrosse. I've been here about 2 weeks now. And right now I am teaching. I remotely still back from where I came from. I moved from Arkansas. And so I'm teaching right now virtually, but I'm looking at other opportunities in the area. So that's me.
Great. Thanks for joining us and welcome to lacrosse. All right, Jason, we'll hold off on you. Erin Lucan.
Hey guys, I'm Erin. Jason over there, or wherever he is on your screen, that's my husband. I am from the Madison After Hours Rotary Club, and I popped in tonight to hear about your project. I thought it sounded cool.
Great, thanks for joining. Lindsay Ng.
Ooh, I'm extra excited that Lindsay's here. Lindsay's one of my very, very best friends, and I invited her to come tonight. So Lindsay, give a quick intro on who you are.
Wow, thanks Marissa for inviting me. My name is Lindsay Ng. I'm the executive director of the Health Center. We're a nonprofit school-based health center located in Walla Walla, Washington. So I grew up in La Crosse and have known Marissa for many years, and she invited me. So a school-based health center is co-located in a school, and we provide medical and mental health services to students right there on site, free of cost. So this presentation of St. Clare's Health Mission is of particular interest. So thank you for the invitation, Marissa.
Thanks for coming, Linz.
Great. It looks like you're walking, but Jason Barron.
Oh, I can do it. Yeah, I'm Jason Barron from the downtown Madison Club. Aaron's husband. I'm about a block away now, so I had to stop for a beer at the end of my walk. So, but luckily with the technology, can still participate. So, thanks.
Awesome. And then I think Spencer, I can't see the last name.
Hagenbarth.
Hagenbarth, thank you.
Spencer, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I just called in, so I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you just want to introduce yourself, your name and what you do or what brought you to the meeting.
Yeah, so I'm actually with Rotary East, dropping in, kind of seeing how you guys do things. And yeah, sorry for getting out a little late. I'm in my car, so I don't have my video on right now.
No worries.
But I'm a realtor with Remax in Alaska.
Awesome. Thanks for joining.
Yep.
I think that's everybody.
I think you got him, Ashley. Great job.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so I wanted to wish a happy birthday to our January babies. Sarah Michaels, she is a New Year's Day baby. She was January 1st. Justin Reineke is just had a birthday yesterday. The one and only Bill Pritchard has a birthday next week on the 17th, and happy birthday, Larry, on the 27th. And let's see if I can move my screen here. Okay.
Marissa, I know I'm a guest here, but it's Marissa's birthday tomorrow, and you are not on the January birthday list.
Busted!
Everyone,
Thanks, Linz. I am kind of in denial that I'm turning older, so I just decided to omit that one. Thank you, Lindsay. Happy Rotary anniversary to Bill Pritchard. He is going to be a Rotarian this month for 16 years. Meg Puckhaber, I don't think Meg's on. She is at 8 years, and Christina Helgeson is 4 years. Let's see. So we just got to meet Kate Beckett, and we just wanted to officially welcome her to Rotary After Hours. We're currently at 60 active members, which puts us at +2 overall for this year. So welcome, Kate. We're excited to have you. I wanted to take a moment right now to honor 2 of our members for their recent Paul Harris Fellow recognition and their contributions to the Rotary Foundation. The presentation of Paul Harris Fellow recognition is the Rotary Foundation's way of expressing its appreciation for a substantial contribution to its educational and humanitarian programs and commitment to peace and to a better life for people across the world. Today, Josh and Laura are recognized for their gifts of $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. It's because of gifts like theirs that the foundation is able to carry out an array of programs such as improved living conditions, increased food production, better education, wider availability of treatment and rehabilitation for the sick and disabled, and brighter hopes for peace. We will hear later in our program the incredible impact that the Rotary Foundation has in changing the world and changing the lives of people in our own community. So first, we have the honor of recognizing Josh Mancy. I got to deliver his pin to him earlier today. Today, Josh receives his Paul Harris Fellow +5 and recognized for being a member of the Paul Harris Society with his annual gift of $1,000 to the foundation. Fellow Rotarians shared that Josh is one of the most dedicated and selfless people I have ever had the privilege of getting to know. He is a doer in every sense of the term. His willingness to lead from the front inspires others and has a ripple effect that goes far beyond his own actions. I don't hesitate to ask when he, I don't hesitate to help when he asks because I know anything he's involved in will be well planned, organized, and make a significant impact in the community or world. He appreciates the value that Rotary can bring in many different arenas and geographic locations, including the financial contributions, as well as the hard work needed to carry out those financial contributions. Josh lives service above self. So it gave me great pleasure to present Josh with the emblems of appreciation, his Paul Harris Fellow +5 pin. Congratulations, Josh, and thank you for all that you do. You are changing the world. And I'm really grateful for you, for the incredible Rotarian that you are, and I'm grateful to call you a great friend.
Thank you, Marissa. That you didn't need to do that. I mean, we don't, yeah. Anyway, I think I got it built up over time.
Next, we have the honor of recognizing Laura Lee. Laura, I was really proud of myself that I didn't say Laura Hunt, and I caught myself while I was typing that. So today, Laura received her Paul Harris Fellow +4. I love so much what she posted after being recognized as our Yes recipient that I wanted to reshare some of her own words because they capture so beautifully who Laura is and serve as a great reminder to all of us. If I get choked up, I'm sorry. Laura says, throughout my life, I've been shown over and over that giving just a little goes so much further than you can imagine. I like to be involved and I thrive when I feel like I'm making a difference. Since joining Rotary in 2012, I've been beyond blessed with opportunities, friendships, memories, and experiences that will last a lifetime. Say yes, serve others, be kind, step outside of your comfort zone, and give just a little more of you. The world needs it right now. Laura, you are a true servant leader and exemplify service above self. Thank you for all that you do for Rotary and for your continued support of making a difference with your giving to the Rotary Foundation. Please join me in recognizing Josh and Laura for their generosity to the Rotary Foundation. The awkward silent clap.
Yeah.
Great job, Josh and Laura.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it over to Caitlin now, our service chair, to do a quick update on upcoming service opportunities.
All right, so we have some mobile meal delivery service opportunity coming up next week. I think everyone has signed up for, or sorry, all the spots have been filled. Everyone should have received an email with a reminder. Did you get that, Marissa, Josh, you guys? Okay, great. So then if everyone could please fill out the service survey, that'd be super helpful in helping me plan some future service events and figure out what our members are really interested in when we're helping out people in our community. So really look forward to getting those all back and compiling the data to make sure that the service committee is fulfilling all your desires.
Thank you, Caitlin. I just wanted to give a brief reminder that there is a STAR Series meeting this Thursday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. It's a great way if you're new to Rotary or if you just want to learn more about Rotary. They are focusing on the Saving Mothers and Children area of focus, as well as peace and conflict resolution. Chuck Hansen will talk about the Downtown Club's Brain Game project. It's very interesting if you're interested in learning more about that. You can email Jody Wiedock, and her email is there if you need it. I'm happy to send that out as well. I'll put it in the chat so you have it. Email her, and that is this Thursday morning. Are there any other announcements before we get on to our official program? No? Okay. So our featured guests this evening, this is kind of a two-part program, but I'm happy to welcome Jason Larson here this evening. He is the Executive Director of St. Clare Health Mission and is going to share more about the history and what they do for our community. Jason also happens to be the president of Rotary East. So without further ado, Jason, do you want me to stop sharing my PowerPoint?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Okay.
I can share.
All right.
And then if it's easier for you, we can switch back and forth, or I can do your slides too. So we'll just figure it out on the fly.
Okay, sounds good. Let me find you. I don't know if I gave you, where are you on here? Sorry. Oh, there you are. Sorry, I have to make you a co-host. Or did I already make you a co-host?
I don't think so, but let me look around here. I'm looking for the bar that says I can share. I don't see it yet, but let me.
Should be down at the bottom, Jason.
So. Are you finding it, or do you maybe want to, maybe if you don't mind, I will have you do the slides then.
All right. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, we're good. Nope, I'm wrong. I got it.
Okay.
Yep. Do you guys see it?
Yeah, but we can see your, can you make it?
Yeah,
bigger?
I just haven't done that yet. Yep.
Okay, there we go.
All right, sweet. All right, so yeah, I am Jason Larson, Executive Director of St. Clare Health Mission. And tonight I'm going to talk to you a bit about St. Clare Health Mission, and then we'll hand it over to Marissa and a few others, and Josh certainly, who will talk about an exciting partnership that we're doing together. But yeah, first, so we're going to give kind of a brief history of St. Clare Health Mission and kind of what we do and what we're all about. So you really can't talk about St. Clare Health Mission without talking about Sister LeClaire Beres. And this is Sister LeClaire on the left. In the 80s, we had a big influx of Hmong refugees. So the Hmong population that we have in the States is really because they really had our back in Vietnam. And then after we left Vietnam, it wasn't a real good environment for the Hmong folks. So we brought them here as refugees and recognized they'd never experienced westernized healthcare, never received immunizations. And in our region, Sister LeClaire created what was called the Indo-Chinese Screening Clinic to ensure that these populations had a soft landing to healthcare when they arrived. And that screening clinic was really the predecessor of St. Clare Health Mission. So it operated for about 15 years. And during that time, La Crosse, a real kind of blue collar town back in the 80s, in early 90s, the thought was there are so many people in our region that really would really need, a free and charitable clinic and need the kind of services that this Indo-Chinese Screening Clinic was provided. And so with that, the idea behind St. Clare Health Mission was born. And so Sister LeClaire worked with a lot of partners. You'll recognize, a lot of similar names here that have kind of changed and morphed over the past 30 years. So it started with the dream of Sister LeClaire, but the full backing of St. Francis Medical Center, Skemp Clinic, Gunderson Clinic, and the Lutheran Hospital, and of course the FSPA Sisters. And they came together over some time and over some years to really form what is now St. Clare Health Mission. And we'll talk a little more about what that looks like in a few minutes. But the other kind of woman of St. Clare Health Mission is Sandy Brecky. So that's Sister LeClaire on the left and Sandy Brecky on the right. Sister LeClaire was the executive director for about the first 12, 13 years, and Sandy was the executive director for about the last 15 years. And Sandy is another one of those people who her fingerprints are really all over a lot of the good work in our community. So when you think of the Great Rivers Hub, when you think of the homeless collaboration, when you think of Alliance to Heal working on opioids, Sandy's not only fingerprints, but really got the seeds going and much more for a lot of those big collaboratives. She was just recently named on the governor's health equity task force. And there's only I think about 22, 26 people from the state on that. So both Sister LeClaire and Sandy in their tenure did really incredible things and made incredible things happen for St. Clare Health Mission and really served it in a way that was unique even among free clinics. And usually I try not to literally talk about myself in any of these presentations, but just because some of my old BBBS folks are here, I wasn't looking for a position. We were rocking it at Big Brothers Big Sisters. We had really had a lot of successes together and things were going awesome. And Sandy called me up and said, I need you to come take over to St. Clare Health Mission. And I said, no, things are really going on a great trajectory. A lot of you probably know Andy Backham. He was our board president. Things were just incredible. And so I said no. And then she took me out to coffee, and a current employee who was an employee then took me out to coffee and kind of swung me. So that's how I got here. Still love the BBBS and the BBBS crew. So what do we do? So the beneficiaries of St. Clare Health Mission are the working poor, the uninsured, immigrant families, and truly all who fall through the cracks temporarily, and some for a lifetime. So what that looks like is we get folks in our clinic every clinic night. Some of them could qualify for insurance, but they're here now. So we help them navigate getting insurance and just see them while they're here and take care of all their needs. Many immigrant families don't qualify for traditional health care. So we see a lot of immigrant families and just really a whole hodgepodge, homeless community, and folks that are here. We even had, like this year, we had, as everything, things were so wild, a Russian family that was kind of trapped here for a little bit, because by the time they came here, everything was okay. By the time it was time to go back, if they were to go back, they'd have to be quarantined within a hospital in Russia. So they're just trying to wait it out. In our facility, so Sister Clare and certainly Sandy Brecky, both that the Franciscan and the St. Clare values of really poverty. So all the dollars are spent to serve the poor, not to make a clinic, a really beautiful clinic. And some of that I want to change slightly. A paint job wouldn't hurt, those kind of things, but really that kind of poverty aspect, that everything should go to the mission of the poor. And you can see by our building here that we do a good job with that. So our services, we have a walk-in clinics every Tuesday and Thursday from 5 to about 7 or 8, depending on how many folks show up. We have a chronic condition clinic the first and third Wednesdays of the month. And that's where we really see the folks with, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, some type 1 diabetics, or someone that had a recent injury that's uninsured that needs some follow-up and specialty care. We do both specialty care in-house and refer out. So all of our referrals out to Gunderson and Mayo are covered 100% by their own charity care dollars. So some really strong partnerships. We have a full on-site pharmacy. We carry really everything like any other pharmacy would, but in the beginning and always now, we've chosen not to carry things like benzodiazepines, like your Valiums or pain pills, things like that. So there would really never be a reason to break into our pharmacy, essentially, and never be a way for our volunteer doctors, nurses, and everybody else, and pharmacists, it makes it a lot cleaner. We have full on-site lab services, and we just run those labs over to Mayo for processing. We have a street medicine team that goes out once a week to serve the homeless within homeless shelters, unsheltered out in parks, in area hotels, and community health workers who work kind of beyond the walls of our clinic, working on health and mental health with families and individuals. Our entire basement, that long, thin building, is durable medical goods. So, walkers, wheelchair, wound care, it's just chock full. And so we give those out for free. The donations come in for free. And a handful of times a year, folks that are going abroad to deliver healthcare will fill up crates and ship them over on their way to do medicine abroad. Then we have some mental health partnerships, emergency dental partnerships, and a lot of education. So, and I'll speed it up a little bit. I think I'm taking a little too much time. And I don't have a note for this slide. Do you see my note, Marissa? Is this my own slide? It is. I'm so bad. So St. Clare Health Mission, since its inception, the real magic and the real beauty of St. Clare Health Mission is it's completely and fully staffed, like 99% by volunteers, so medical and non-medical volunteers. The paid employees we have now is a little heavier than it used to be, but in the last 2 years, we've become an independent 501c3 nonprofit. So that's changed how we operate a bit. And we knew we wanted to bring on more staff, primarily community health workers, to work with folks out in the community. And with that, I'm going to show a news story about our mobile medical clinic, and then I'll hand it off to the in-house group. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves for 8 more seconds. Sorry that's so awkward. My transitions are usually a little smoother, I promise. Sorry, I'm froze up. Do you want to try it on your end and we'll switch, Marissa?
Sure thing. It did that for me earlier too, so totally sympathize. Let's see.
So now we'll never find out who the pets of the week are.
Nope. All right.
All right, I'll stop sharing to see if you can get it. So in our, as she's doing that, in our, oh, she's got it. And then I want to talk for, I missed a few things from one slide, then I'll talk for just a minute, Marissa.
Marissa, we got no audio.
So I'm gonna, yeah, I'll finish up while she gets that loaded. Sorry that was such a glitch on my end. And thank you for rescuing me, Marissa. The partnerships, really those 5 institutions 27 years ago that made us thrive and able to do what we do, which is full on-site and off-site healthcare for the working poor and uninsured, is completely because of Gunderson Mayo and Franciscan Sisters. And now I'd add La Crosse County Health Department into a lot of, I think, the work we're going to do together. And that partnership 27 years later we're now an independent 501c3. 99% of our volunteers, the folks here tonight, are from Mayo or Gunderson. We receive full backing and so much support from them that we can refer out for everything we need to refer out for up until surgery. And then Gunderson and Mayo then put that towards their own kind of in-house work they do. So free and charitable clinics that are set up that way are few and far between, and they thrive because they have the full backing of large healthcare institutions. So that was really the piece I missed. Is it still glitchy? That's okay, we can skip it. It makes me feel a little better, honestly, if I'm being totally honest, Marissa. I think it's just glitchy. Feel free to ask any questions that you might have before we either are able to see the video or switch over to the next portion.
Jason, how many people do you typically have that come on a Tuesday or a Thursday night?
It's a really a big miss nowadays. So, you know, I'd say 10 to 15, you know, sometimes you have 20, and similar with the Wednesday clinic, and then sometimes lower, sometimes higher. So the goal after Affordable Care Act was really to close. And then over time, we have served so many more of the immigrant population, and, you know, 20, 40, 60 people a week with 3 clinics isn't a ton, but that's a lot of people that don't have access to healthcare. And some of these people are really sick, so we kind of feed them through the system to get the care they need elsewhere. And then the last piece on that is we haven't done any outreach since before the Affordable Care Act, because this organization really thought it was going to be able to close. So once COVID's passed us, our goal is to recruit more volunteers and then do a lot of outreach to the folks that need us, that don't know we exist.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, is that you, Josh?
That's me.
Okay.
Here we go.
Cross Healthcare Workers is leaving their clinics to do more work. The team of doctors and nurses is hitting the streets to provide basic health care and, as Amy DuPont explains, to help solve a housing crisis.
There is no exam table or fancy equipment. Dr. Sarah Brown doesn't even need a room. The La Crosse MD treats her patients with compassion.
This is the most life-giving work you can ever imagine.
Brown and a small team of doctors and nurses from St. Clare Health Mission are making medicine mobile.
For healthcare to really be effective, we've got to get out into the community.
providing free care in parks and shelters or any place they need to reach the homeless.
Our homeless aren't living on the streets. Our homeless are surviving on the streets, and just barely.
Finding patients is sadly the easy part. La Crosse's homeless numbers are rising. In late November, 23 families stayed at the city's emergency shelter, a record that breaks this doc's heart.
It's staggering to come to grips with the fact that there are so many children who are homeless here in La Crosse. No tiene seguro.
The cost of medical care is also up, making this team's mobile work even more valuable. Many of their patients qualify for free health insurance. St. Clare connects them with access to routine care, mental health, and addiction services, lowering the need for expensive emergency care and possibly emergency housing.
It's a lack of treatment that has led people to homelessness oftentimes. So if we can step back and try to help with the root cause, can we as healthcare providers be part of the solution for homelessness?
For this team, care is not limited to inside clinic walls.
I hope that we impact people's lives in the long term.
Good medicine that could lead their patients to a home of their own.
St. Clare Health Mission has been offering mobile medicine since the end of the summer. The program is funded through donations. If you'd like to help, you can head to news8000.com.
All right, Jason, back to you.
And I think that's really the finish as we transition over to, are you going, Josh, or is it Marissa?
I'm planning to go. I was planning to go. So Marissa, can you share the PowerPoint again, please? All right, so hi Rotary After Hours. You get to listen to me again tonight. But, as Jason said, he talked a little bit about the St. Clare Health Mission. I'm really excited to be able to share something with you guys tonight. It's something that's been in the works for quite a while. But as you guys know, I'm big in the Rotary Foundation, so wanted to kind of talk through the Rotary. This is a Rotary partnership project, right? This is a good cause. This is something that's happened because Rotary opens opportunities, and the Rotary Foundation is such a great resource. So, I just want to, before we even begin, thank everybody for their support of the foundation and for projects past, present, and future. So, Marissa, next slide, please. So we, as a group of Rotarians in the area, we got together last summer and we said, what can we do for a big project, right? It's global grants. A lot of times the money goes overseas, but we said, what can we do for a project right here in our own community, right? There's so much need. People talk about need around the world, which is true. There is need, but there's also so much need here in our own community and in so many ways, right? I think a lot of people on this call, like if you've been in Rotary for a while, you've seen some of that need, you've glimpsed it, but there's just so much more that even every day, every week, every month, it seems like I'm learning more about in our own community. So we gathered a group from all the different Rotary clubs in the La Crosse area. You can see names on the screen here. And we said, okay, if we're gonna step back and say, we're gonna put a $200,000 or $300,000 project on the table, what can we do? What can we come up with that's really gonna move the needle and make a difference in our community? Next slide, Marissa, please. So we actually went out to a number of different organizations in the community. We went out to 8 different community groups. We gathered 10 different projects and we sorted through those. We looked at the Rotary requirements. We looked at what our community, there were some very worthy projects, right? There were some great projects, but unfortunately, some didn't follow through with a grant. Some, were better than others. We had some very, very hard choices. We came back, they presented for two projects were presented to us, right? It was a project for a mobile preschool and a project for a mobile clinic, right? We ended up choosing, as you can see on the screen, we chose the mobile clinic, right? Again, it was a very hard decision. There was a lot of discussion because there is so much good that we can do in our community. The mobile clinic we chose for a couple of reasons, right? It's going to impact a lot of our region. It's going to be able to impact a lot of people, right? It's going to be able to serve initially around 500 to 600 patients, over 1,200 visits, and it's going to be able to expand and build partnerships with people all over the area. Right now, the mobile clinic is planned to service Trempealeau, La Crosse, Monroe, Vernon counties, but Jason and the team are working very closely to see what can be done in Minnesota, Winona, you know, the La Crosse and Caledonia neck of the woods, you know, Houston County over there. So it's, the laws are a little bit different when you're crossing borders. There's free clinic laws, and, you know, Jason can explain this a lot more if anybody has particular questions kind of at the end. But this is a pretty cool thing, right? As you can see on the left, this would allow us not only to help serve the people through the St. Clair Health Mission, but as you saw, the St. Clair Health Mission, it has limited hours. It's located in one spot. It depends on people being able to take transportation to the clinic, right, in the hours that work for them. This would allow us to go out to all these different communities and provide all these different services, right? Family practice, preventative care, vaccination clinics, right? When we get that COVID vaccine and it starts being available for, you know, the rank and file, the rest of us, this is going to be a great way to deliver it to those vulnerable populations that might have a hard time getting it, especially in some of those situations where they're delivering the one that's got to be stored at what, negative 94 degrees Fahrenheit. There's just so much good we can do with something like this. So the way the clinic is designed, it's going to have two exam rooms, but we're going to go into that in a little bit more. So Marissa, can you go to the next slide for me? So one of the things we always look about is sustainability and Rotarian involvement, right? We want this to be more than a check writing exercise. We've been working closely with Jason through this process, but long-term, we want Rotarians to be involved. We want them to be, you know, there's opportunities to be drivers. There's opportunities to donate durable medical goods, do clinic projects. There's opportunities for medical professionals. Interpreters, you know, if you speak any other languages, there's always opportunity for interpreters, reception and check-in, advocacy and outreach. We want this to be kind of a long-term relationship that when people see the Rotary Clinic rolling down the street, they can say, hey, I was part of that and we did something really, really cool. You know, something, as Bill would say, he's not here tonight, but as Bill would say, he loves to say, you know, I'd point that out to my grandkids and be like, hey, I helped with that. So can you go to the next slide for me, Marissa? So you might say, how much does this cost? You know, this is a pretty cool project. It's going to have 2 exam rooms. It's going to have a bunch of different equipment in it. It's going to have, you know, some of these pieces that are outlined here. It's going to cost about $240,000, right? So, you know, I asked Pritchard if he's got $240,000 laying around. Unfortunately, he said no. So we had to go try again somewhere else. It's a big project, but one of the really neat things is we're part of Rotary, right? We talked a little bit about it earlier. You know, somebody who I have a lot of respect for loves to use the phrase, you know, in Rotary, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, 1 + 1 = 3, right? So when Rotarians come together, they can do some pretty powerful stuff and they can do it pretty quick. Marissa, can you go to the next slide for me? So we put together some goals to get this done. So the Rotary clubs, what we aim for is the Rotary clubs to raise $40,000 amongst all of the area Rotary clubs. And then the community support, you know, $40,000 from them. So a total of $80,000. And you might say, hey, that's only a third of the way. Well, yeah, that's true. That's where the Rotary Foundation comes into play. So for our guests here tonight, and for those who aren't as familiar with the Rotary Foundation, there's a thing called a global grant. And what Rotary does is it says, hey, we take all these collections from around the world and we match them. So what happens is, you know, our area, La Crosse area, puts in $80,000. The Rotary District 6250 will come in and say, hey, we'll match you. So that's another $80,000. And then the Rotary International, along with some international club partners, right? Because there are requirements. They want to build partnerships across borders. So it's not just us doing our projects in our own communities and never working outside of us. So there's some collaboration there. But Rotary, the World Fund will come in and say, hey, we'll match what you guys matched, or we'll match another $80,000 on top of that. So we can take $80,000 and we can turn it into 240. So I don't know what you guys think, but that's pretty good return. Marissa, thank you. So as we go down this process, you know, we talked a little bit about what the clinic does, who it serves. You heard Jason talk about, you know, the needs and what St. Clair does today with their purpose and their mission. And so one of the questions we always get is how can we, you know, how can you help? How can we all help as members of Rotary? So here's some information, right? We'll send out a flyer after the meeting. We'll send out a copy of that flyer after the meeting along with a letter. If you are interested in donating, we would ask you to make donations to Rotary Works Foundation. So there's an online portal that you can donate via credit card through PayPal, which thank you, Brandon Harris, for setting that up for us. We appreciate it, Rotary Works President Harris. And then you can also send in a check, but we ask that you keep the memo line that says mobile clinic so that we can make sure to keep things straight. So this is something that we've had a lot of very good feedback, a lot of good participation from the community. Fundraising on the community goal has been going well. And I know even within the group, the committee that kind of identified the project did the reviews, right? Everybody on the committee has donated personally. I know I've donated. A number of people in the club have donated as well. So it's something that really resonates. It's something that's going to make a difference. So Marissa, Dean, did I miss anything? Okay. Can I take questions from the group? I know I kind of blew through that. I know that was fast, but I just get excited and it's a really cool thing. So I apologize. And if anybody wants me to slow down or go over anything again, please just say so.
And yeah, I'm open for questions as well. So thank you, Josh.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Jason. But I mean, this is a really cool project. It's something that I don't think comes around very often, that we can do a big project like this. You know, Kids Cooley, Rotary Lights, you know, some of these big projects that we look back in the past and we say, you know, even the band shell, that's a really cool project, right? And it takes a long time and a lot of work to get those things to come together. I mean, this is one of those projects that we're going to look back on and we're going to say, we're going to be very proud of. So, but again, if you guys have any questions, otherwise, go ahead, Laura.
What international clubs are we working with in order to get the global grant?
Yep. So we've gotten a commitment from a club in Germany who was the host club of Inga, the downtown exchange student from last year, I believe. I've been talking with the club that we've done the water project in Mexico on. We're also talking with some clubs. Dean's been talking with some clubs in Canada. We're also working, I know Lisa and some of Valley View Rotarians have been talking with clubs in the Netherlands. So at this point, we've only got a firm commitment for about $8,000 total from the Germans, but there is interest from the other clubs as well. So yeah, thanks for asking. What else?
What are you looking for a time frame on this?
So our initial goal was to kind of have everything in submit by April, but we're actually going to move that up. I mean, the responses have been positive, and with supply chains the way they are, and with COVID vaccines, we're thinking the sooner we can get this, the sooner we can get things rolling. So at this point, you know, if we were able to have kind of funds in hand and the applications submitted to Rotary by March 15th, we would be thrilled. So, and then that would probably, you know, it takes a month or two, depending on kind of Rotary's returns and, you know, Rotary's review speed and questions and things, probably about a month to get the application approved. And then we get the order in. So my hope would be that we have the vehicle delivered by early midsummer. So does that answer your question, Lucas?
And that's just to let you know, Josh, and everyone else, so unfortunately that quick turnaround time is not possible anymore. So if we ordered a mobile medical clinic a year ago, you know, you're looking at 3-4 months. If we ordered one about 9 months ago, you're looking at maybe even 6 months. But everyone is, because of COVID, so many people, so many health clinics and hospitals, so the ordering is longer now, just to be honest about that. So it's been pushed back more and more months over the past year because so many people are ordering them. And I haven't shared that with, I think Dean and I briefly talked about that, but I haven't shared that with Josh. So I'm sharing with you all and Josh right now.
Yeah, no, please.
Kevin's asking the question, is the district funding global grant secured as long as the local funding is raised?
Yeah, so Kevin, that's a great question. There's never a guarantee, but I'm pretty confident that the district will approve. I'm not going to make any promises, but I do. Let's just say I know how that process works. And from the global grant, yeah, Liz, you got that grin on your face. You know what I mean.
Do you have connections at the district foundation?
I might. I know.
He bribed. He bribed the foundation chair.
Yeah.
I bought him dinner last week.
Brilliant. Yeah,
Mhm.
We have a
Actually,
robust conflict of interest.
there are, there's, just to be clear, right, there is a potential conflict of interest. To your point, Bob, I buy that guy dinner almost every night, unless somebody else is feeling particularly generous. But yes, so there is some separation. So I would step back, right? We do have a committee that's in that place, and my successor has been identified. So it would not be, one decision. So thank you for clarifying that, Liz. But yes, let's just say we do understand how the district works well, and we have had some conversations with Rotary International to review the project, and they're excited about it. They like it. Again, there's a couple different things that could potentially happen, but it's more of a question of delays versus not happening, if that makes sense. All right, what's next?
Josh, I always appreciate your enthusiasm as you're presenting this. It's not the first time I've heard him talk through this. And one of the things that really has energized me about this is not just being able to open our wallets, but being able to bring the community together. So I know many times I've been asked to give, and I'm just not at an opportunity that I can financially do that. But I know people, and I talk to others who I know that are a little bit better off, and those conversations almost do as much, if not more, a lot of times than what you're able to do as an individual. So it's really bringing people together in conversation that helps some of these projects move forward. So if you feel the drive to give, by all means do so. But if you feel that your wallet's not heavy enough at this time to be able to help very much, you can always help in many more ways.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Bob. I mean, that's a great call out. And I know, when we presented to, La Crescent, Caledonia and downtown, we had multiple members that had been involved with St. Clair Health Mission in the past or current, people that had given so much of their time, right? And they had nothing but good things to say about how the work that St. Clair Health Mission does, and the way they have been incredible stewards over the years of, donations given. So it's just it's an incredible cause, and I've continually been surprised by how much meaning and how much response we've gotten around this project and the good work that St. Clair Health Mission does. So
I think as Rotarians, we're really humble in what we do, and I am so excited to see this mobile clinic rolling down the street and seeing our emblem on that side of that mobile clinic. And we as Rotarians are changing the lives of these people that don't have health insurance, that don't have the care that many of us are privileged to have. So I'm super excited about it. Happy to support it, and really am excited to see that rolling down the street.
yeah, thank you, Marissa. And I think it's really cool when you see the clubs come together. I mean, you guys have seen what we're able to accomplish in after hours, and I think some of you have seen some of the things the other clubs in the area do. I mean, it's all really good stuff. But like I said earlier, right, when you get the clubs to come together, it's amazing what can be done when Rotarians from across the spectrum are just like lined up and ready to roll. So
I think we're just about running short on time here. If anybody has follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to Josh. Bob is a focus group member. I was Lisa Cobbs, Bill Pritchard, any of those Rotarians. Jason can answer questions. My dad, Dean's on the call here. We're happy to help answer any questions you may have. There is an email coming out at 7 with the flyer and more information if you feel inclined to donate. So look for that in your inbox at 7 o'clock.
And Madeline, I saw your question. So we've been talking with Dustin about doing some segments on WXOW. So we wanted to get in front of the Rotary clubs. We didn't want people to hear about we didn't want people to hear about a Rotary project on the news. We wanted you to hear about a Rotary project from Rotarians by Rotarians with Rotarians first. So, but that'll be coming in the next week or two. So happy to share that out once it comes to. So anyway, Marissa, back to you.
All right, so we're gonna try something new, kind of old. We used to do this as a club years ago, even before I joined. And I don't really know what to expect because Stephanie Doyle has volunteered to be our guinea pig for this week. And she is going to bring us Rotarians in the News. And Josh, is there anything that you wanted to add?
No, so I know in other clubs in the past they've done fines that go towards the club's projects and things like that. So we won't do fines today. We might do something on the honor system in the future. We don't want anybody to feel pressured, but I also want to keep count and see if this is another contest that Brandon wins. So I hope this is like golf, Brandon. You want the highest score, right? So anyway, keep going. But yeah, sorry, Marissa, go ahead.
Stephanie, do you need me to allow you to share your screen?
No, because I just have it written on a piece of paper here. So it's going to be a surprise to everybody what I come up with here. So yeah, I guess I'll just kind of shout out to whoever is kind of whatever I say is relevant to, but as they were saying before, there's not necessarily any like way to contribute right now, but I would say we have people watching, so if you feel like what I say is relevant to you, you can raise a hand, and then you may end up getting a bill in the future. I don't know. This is not in any particular order, but here we go. So first off is Powerball is apparently at 550 million and Mega Millions is at 650 million. So if anybody bought a ticket for either of these with the hopes of winning, raise your hand.
Well, there we go.
Good job.
We got a few people.
I should look at the gallery so I can see who all is relevant. All right. Next.
Jason and Aaron, did you share ticket numbers? So if one of you wins, the other one knows? Okay.
Next,
keep going, Stephanie. Sorry.
Next up, Packers, I think apparently are going to the playoffs. So if you are a Packer fan or if your favorite team is going to the playoffs, raise your hand. All right, next one is that the Assistant Director of Campus Climate at UWL, Amanda Goodenough, is the 2021 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Leadership Award winner for her work in social justice and education. So if you attended UWL or you are currently employed by UWL, raise your hand. Woohoo. Next up, barely a day goes by where we don't see Gunderson or Mayo in the news for mostly COVID-related things right now, as well as getting the vaccine out to employees, and now they're getting it to people in nursing homes and such. So if you are an employee of Gunderson or Mayo, raise your hand. And that includes me. Next one. There was an article about Habitat for Humanity. They are getting back to home construction after some delays due to COVID. So if you were involved in the recent RAW service project, or if you are in any way involved with Habitat for Humanity, raise your hand. Good job, everybody. Next one, Mayo Clinic awarded grants to organizations working to promote equity and inclusion. These organizations include YWCA, La Crosse City Police Department, Cooley Cap, and Hamilton Elementary. If you have any involvement with YWCA, LCPD, Cooley Cap, or Hamilton, raise your hand. I don't know if that includes anybody, but. What?
Liz got it.
Next one, there was a column in the Tribune about good works. They're talking about the good stuff that United Way does for the community. If you are involved with or work for United Way, give us a hand raise. And then there was an article about the mobile clinic in the Tribune. So if you were involved in getting the wheels on the road. Let's see, a hand raise.
And if I can make a brief statement, so I apologized for that. We were waiting to do media until after all the Rotary presentations, and United Way and La Crosse Community Foundation are working on these articles, and something fell through with the Monday one, so they asked if they could bump us, and I wasn't even thinking about it. So I've already apologized to all of the Rotary Mobile Medical Rotary crew. So I'll have to pay twice for that one.
And then, in case you missed it, there was a feature on our very own Marissa Dickinson in the Coulee Region Women magazine about how she is working toward a healthier tomorrow.
Which I'm pretty sure if downtown's rules, if you're in the news, it's $1. If it's a full color photo, it's $5. So if it's a full magazine article, is that 10?
I mean, I'll give $10, but I'll give $10 for all of you because really, there's people that do far, far, far more and are far more deserving to be in a magazine than me. So thank you to all of you that help make an impact in our community.
The last one is apparently I missed that our very own member, Erin Miller, was on the news shoveling recently. So I guess we'll have to chip in for that as well. Anything that people have noticed that I happened to miss in these past couple weeks that you want to squeal on anybody?
Does Dustin get an exempt?
I think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say same thing with like Gunderson and Mayo, and like Gunderson and Mayo are gonna be in the news probably every week until eternity. And I'm willing to chip in here and there, but I probably don't want to be paying every week every time my employer's in the news. So I mean, maybe Dustin has to pay one time for his transition to the nightly news, and then we won't be too hard on him. We won't make him pay every day that we see him on the news.
I was gonna say I feel like I feel somebody went to Florida. I feel like if you went to Florida, you should if you went to Florida this year, you should have to pay $1. Bill has to pay up too because he's going to Disney. So
Brandon, how many dollar bills are you at?
Brandon,
probably fewer than others. I think there's a few that snuck in there. UWL, that one got me, but I think Liz might have even had the most there. She was like all of them. I think she's just gonna have to make it rain.
So the thought is maybe if
with my huge. With my huge nonprofit salary. Yeah.
We'll see if this is something that we want to continue. Feel free to give feedback if you like it, if you don't. The thought is if we start to collect money in the future, it'd be dollar bills and it would go to probably polio, our polio fundraising goals. So thank you, Stephanie, for being the guinea pig on that. I really appreciate it. It's been something that we've been wanting to do for months, and so appreciate you starting the new year with that. So with that,
I have a question. How does Sarah feel about adding that to an invoice, or should we just plan to bring cash or send cash somehow?
Yeah,
or Venmo it to someone.
So
go ahead, Josh.
Okay, so we were thinking to do like Venmo, since we're a little bit more tech savvy. Apologies to anybody who doesn't know Venmo, but we were thinking just to do Venmo to avoid kind of the headaches of processing by hand. And we don't, right? Our intent with this is not to like, Marissa and I aren't going to show up at somebody's door and be like, you got to pay your fines, right? It's just all in good fun. The only person I'm really going to make sure pays up is Brandon. Everybody else, like it's all best spirit. So
and just so you know, I think downtown has already set up a Venmo account and they're already doing this. So we are not cutting edge by any means anymore. We are lagging behind the old timers.
Well, if downtown can use Venmo, like we better get caught up because we are getting left behind. I mean, let's replace the typewriters and get going here.
All right, so we are over time, so I'm going to move us along here. Our next meeting is January 26th. It is our raw assembly, so it's our annual meeting. we have a lot to cover. And so we are extending it to 90 minutes. There's a good chance we won't use that full 90 minutes. But we have some bylaw changes that are coming and that need membership approval. So Josh is going to do a really brief high-level overview. He loves when I say high-level overview of those. And then you as a member gets to vote if you want to adopt those changes. We're going to do a strategic plan overview. So you all should have received the email from me, I believe it was last week, with the document. And we're going to not get into the nitty gritties, but do a high level overview of that. Each of the committees is going to give an update on what they've accomplished this last year, what they are planning on bringing to the club this next year. So some really great information from each of the committees. If you're not a part of a committee, it's a great way to learn about more of them and see which one might pique your interest. I know when I joined After Hours, it was joining that committee that I started to really meet people. And so it's a great way to get engaged and meet new people. And then Sarah will be doing a budget status of where we sit as a club. So hope you'll join us on the 26th. There's an invitation to stay on after for anybody that wants to stay on. If you have any questions for Josh on the mobile clinic, or I know Bill and Lisa aren't available tonight, happy to stay on and answer those questions. But with that, we will, if you could all unmute yourselves, we will say the Rotary test and all the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth?
The truth?
Is it fair,
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it
Will
build
it build goodwill and better
friendships?
friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will it be
Will
fun?
it be fun?
All right, so we are adjourned. Have a great night. I just looked, the Badgers had a really bad first half, but go Pack Go for Saturday. So with that, thank you all for coming tonight, and I hope to see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
So Marissa, I think the punishment for not joining a committee, I think I'm going to start setting up like coffee time with people, and they get to listen to me talk for an hour about what committee they should join.
Hey Josh, I had a call come in like